gosh, this is the cutest wine shop. I want all the bottles. Is that bad to say? Hey guys, I'm back today to talk about one of our favorite subjects since moving here to Barcelona. Spanish wine. We happen to be big fans. And as it turns out, there's a lot to learn about Spanish wine. So anyway, I thought it'd be fun to pop in today with just like a little Spanish wine 101 video so that if you happen to be shopping for Spanish wine at home, you can have a better idea of what to buy and maybe have like a few fun facts that you can throw out at a dinner party. So we're here at our favorite wine shop today. It's called Agüita. And we have a special guest today. This is my friend Danny.
Hello.
Danny is a professional guide here in Barcelona. He's lived in Spain for about 11-ish
11 years.
Yeah.
Just over now.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud. I should note that when we very first moved here, Danny took us on what was probably the best food and wine tour of our lives. It was awesome. And he knows so much more about wine than I do. Oh, I should have taken a sip. So anyway, he seems like the perfect guy to ask about wine today.
I do love this stuff. It's true.
So tell us, why should we pay a visit to the Spanish section of the wine store?
I'd say there are two really key reasons to get interested in Spanish wine. For starters, value. Bang for your buck. You're dealing with some really, really stellar wines at very affordable prices.
Mm-hmm. And why is that?
A lot of it has to do with demand. You know, that people don't know enough about Spanish wines yet. And it is the third largest producer in the world after...
Third largest, guys!
After France and Italy. The second real thing, though, is there's a Spanish wine for everybody. Common misconception is that we only do these bold red wines from one region called La Rioja, whereas we also actually make fabulous white wines, really great rosés, sparklings that will knock your socks off. No matter what you're into in the wine department, we've got you covered in this country.
So great value. There's like a wine here for everybody, and there's like an incredibly impressive and long tradition behind Spanish wines. So when we first came here, one of the confusing things, like when we went wine shopping, was, you know, we would be looking for the grapes that we love. Like I would be looking for my Cabernets or Pinot Noir or whatnot. And that's not how they're categorized here. So how, like, if you have a wine bottle, what do you look for on a Spanish wine bottle?
So, very pretty label, pretty colors, they've hired a graphic designer, that's great. Really, that's what we want to look for. This is the mark of the denomination of origin.
The
DO.
The region, basically. So instead of the grape here, we always talk about the region.
And it is a region, but it takes it a step further. It's a council of people who are winemakers or involved in the industry who have come together and have defined a region, a geographic space, but have gone way farther than that to say that in this geographic space, we use X, Y, Z grapes. We use these farming techniques. These farming techniques are not allowed. You're allowed to irrigate. You're not allowed to irrigate. You can use pesticides. It has to be organic. Everything to do with the winemaking process. It's something that's a stamp of quality.
So like Rioja. Rioja is not a grape. Rioja is a region. How many regions are there?
There are 70. 70 regions to play with.
Rioja is just one of 70.
So, what is a DO? Let's do a hypothetical. Let's create a new DO.
Yes.
We're going to call it DO, give me some oven.
Yes! I'm in.
So, we'll say that our DO, we define it as we're in this wine shop. So we got to find the other winemakers that are in our space. Where do we find other winemakers? What about these guys? So now that we're 4 winemakers, we can then define within our specific geographic space. We grow Tempranillo, we grow Grenache, and we grow Chardonnay. That's it. If you don't make wine with those 3 grapes, you're not in. Dio, give me some oven.
Out of there.
And as the original members of the council, Ali and I formed the council of the DO. We decide who's in and who's out. If some 5th person shows up and says, well, you know, guys, I make a sick wine with a Riesling, and we have to then say, do we want you? Do we want to dilute our DO Give Me Some Oven brand? What it comes down to really is to say that within this geographic space, there's very specific guidelines to what is and isn't the wine. That's why when you look at this sticker on the bottle, it's almost a preview to what's going to be inside.
All right, let's go wine shopping. Let's find some DOs.
Dio Rueda. Dio Bierzo. You look at the sticker, Dio Monsant, but we also have the same information on the labels from the winery. Here and here.
So is Dio like the only thing to look for?
It's not the only thing. It's the way that we do categorize the wine, but it's not to say that the grape and the age are not equally important. They all matter. But let's start with the Dio, because once you get that, you can start to really understand Spanish wine.
This is 101. If you guys are interested, we can totally come back with a much deeper dive into all things Spanish wine. And I think we might also pop back in and do another special on vermouth, because Spaniards, turns out, don't really drink sangria, they drink vermouth.
Yeah, we do.
And we've also become big fans of cava being here, like the Spanish champagne.
Can't call it champagne.
Oh, sorry, can't call it champagne. Sparkling wine, cava. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful. I hope that the next time you go wine shopping, you will pay a visit to the Spanish section of the wine store, because there are lots of treasures to be found. And I will be sure in the show notes below to leave some specific recommendations for some DOs and some bottles that we think you might really enjoy. Thank you so much, Danny, for all of your wise words of wine advice.
I do try. It's something that's fun to share.
Yes, and in Spain, we don't say cheers, we say salud. We also need to say a huge thank you. This is Alex. He's the owner of Agüita. One of the first people we met when we moved to Barcelona. We used to live right across the street. Gracias por todo. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Ciao. Do I have wine teeth?
Nope, you are radiant.
Chin chin to that.
Salud.